Organization means I am because we are together in it.
That's sharing.
Yes. I want to say this, that the indigenous people knows the secret of happiness that has been lost in all societies that transcend them and which considers themselves civilized society.
And they look down at us.
Exactly.
And they look down on us.
Which is what we often refer to as the
But
African
every missionary who comes here finds the spiritual liveliness and wholesomeness that shames them. The ones who stay learn from it.
And love it.
And love it. But there's some who keep coming and pressing. And they keep fighting about having a better education, but not learning from this story.
Wow.
I've had a similar situation. The first series we did with you, I kept telling you about this business of going to the village boastfully with your 50,000 worth of salt. I call it poisonous salt, poisonous sugar, poisonous processed oil, and feeling great at providing. Lo and behold, when you're returning at the weekends, at the week's end, they give you produce worth 500,000. When you get home and you're really offloading the produce, that Ubuntu, the sense of sharing, the appreciation for that salt, for that sugar, for that processed oil, the rewards are astronomical. And the multiplier effect is Ubuntu at its finest. And that's what actually pressed me to learn about ourselves, because I realized, my God, shame on you. What is your 50 when they can give you 500,000 in a week? Something that will last you probably for 1 month.
Yes.
Not going to Safeway, not going to ShopRite, not going to Game Store, not going to Carrefour, you know? But organic food that we consider expensive, that's the irony.
Which is actually very expensive.
It is, oh my God. Huh?
So the irony of that
Yes.
is that the ability of our people not to realize
the selfless sharing.
Yes, not to realize that what we are sharing selflessly is actually more valuable. It's
Much
because,
more.
Yes,
1,000 times much more.
The abundance of it here
Yes.
given to us by the Most High that the
thank
soil
you.
represents.
Do you know how we run away from rain?
Yes.
Some people told me, no, just stand in it and take it, soak it up.
Yes.
It's free. The Almighty gives us that freely. learn that is the sense of sharing.
Yes. That God can say, abundance I have, and so receive.
And people never talk about this, but I'm bringing a concept to this, and that's the reason I gave you that funny name at the end. The African capitalism. Where we share while we're gaining.
Yes.
Not the greed, not the narcissism of yanje. I was making people in the taxi laugh. I said the head of state wakes up and goes yanje, a fear of loss.
Yes.
Chimurumira, yange. You wake up a fear of loss.
Yes.
Even the fear of losing your beloved wife to another is a constant. Ubuntu teaches us to relax.
Wow.
Because we have it in abundance.
Yes.
Today we're very spiritual.
Yes, and a deep conversation. I want you to know we're going for a break, and when we come back, Jaffa and I are going to be taking you through for the next 35 minutes of the show. We're going to be talking about the spirit of I am because we are, and the culture of some sharing of the stuff. Like when you go to the village and Jaffa say you give 5 kilos of sugar and you come back with a truck and a trunk full of fresh fruits.
Worth 500,000.
What's the equation right now? We'll be right back after
Ubuntu.
Yes.
The equation is Ubuntu. Sharing.
The elders Wisdom Circle will be right back after the break.
I've been in Uganda for very many years, and I believe Uganda is the place anybody should aspire to live in. We have good weather, we have abundance of food, we have abundance of employment as long as you look out for the right things. But Uganda has been hit in recent times with the stigma of greed, and it shows in everything that we read in the newspapers. It shows on television. It shows even when you're sitting down with people just trying to make ends meet. Everybody wants to bite off a piece that's bigger than what they deserve. That is Uganda's major problem in my eyes. If only we could curb the greed, if only we could share out that pie equally and of course responsibly, then we will be the best country on the planet. In the next 5 years, I really wish and hope that Ugandans can look at the bigger picture, can look at Uganda as a country, can look at their neighbors, their friends, and see that everybody needs equal opportunity. Because in the next 5 years, I don't want people to be calling me up saying, please, can you find me a job? I want people to be calling me up and saying, would you like to come and work with me? That is what I'd like to see. In the next 50 years, I don't want to see my child suffering. I want to see him prosperous. I want to see him with a good wife, with children, with a family of his own, living the dream. That's what I would like to see in Uganda. That's my honest opinion. And I'm Mark Kaheru, I'm Ugandan. What do you say?
Young people at the moment are struggling to understand the older generation because times have changed. Technology has come in.
They have moved on.
Yes.
We're the ones sitting back and wondering, what is my child on to? TikTok has surpassed WhatsApp. The other one I call, I never call it Facebook, it's Bookface. Why are you on Bookface? Dad, it's Facebook.
Yes.
Me, I keep saying, I have a foot amongst the millennials.
Yeah.
And I understand the traditionalists.
Okay.
There's a song in the 60s, by the way, and in the 90s, 70s, where they're like, parents don't understand.
Yes.
Remember Prince?
Yes.
Prince.
Welcome back from the break. This is the Elders Wisdom Circle. In the studio is myself, Eddie Okila, and Jaffa Remo Amin, the third born son of Idi Amin Dada. We believe that this man has the wisdom of Amin. We also believe that Amin deposited some of his secrets, deep-seated secrets, on his third born son. Just like Jacob did it to Joseph at some point, and Joseph was the heir to the throne. Could this be the case in Amin's house? Jaffa, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for that one.
So we have to keep trying to break down the mystery behind Amin and you and the family of Amin with our 60 children. We don't know which one, but we seem to be guessing that you could be the mystery child.
Can I give something to that point?
Yes.
I got pretty angry about our properties not coming back to us.
Yes.
And I was really becoming forceful and wanting to live the high life back in Kololo, you know?
Yes.
But he told me, "De Malta Dunya, these are worldly things." He would say, "These are worldly things."
Yes.
Do you know how that shames you back into your shell? You're going full throttle to become very demanding. You know, I call it the Biaffe syndrome.
Yes.
Demanding. But he was reminding me, these are worldly things.
Wow.
He's the type of person who, when the people had decided that the Cadillac, the expensive cars, they were all parked at Nakasongola. They were loading them onto a Hercules to take them to Libya. He finds out, he said, no. Take those cars out of there. Where are you taking them? Now, others would have loaded them up like the Gambian president. He loaded his cars to exile. He needed his hammer. He needed his Rolls Royce. He needed things. So sometimes my selflessness becomes a hindrance because I learned from the best who learned to let go.
Yes. That said, Jaffa, and we want to discuss the issue of I am because we are. Can you just break this statement to us? Ubuntu keeps saying I am because we are.
Yeah.
Can you just break that up right now for us?
Without that 1%, we wouldn't be. My parents are me. I am my parents. The day I get my degree is the day I start looking down at my parents who sold their goats to take me to school.
Dug themselves.
That is the moment where instead of embracing them, we tend to start becoming very, for me, I have my books moments. If you can understand, I am me because we are.
Yes.
That keeps you in check. Me being told by my mother, you like your stepmothers, but I'm your mother. She was basically trying to say, they're classier than I am, but I am your mother.
Yeah.
Once I get my faith to another level, I shouldn't be acting like an Arab. I am forever African. Comes back to the same statement. I've seen pastors who go for 2 weeks to America and they went to saying God, they come back saying God. 2 weeks of transformation. the day you forget who you are.
The man of God.
I'm like, what happened to Godi? God!
Yes.
Is he another person?
Yes.
No, we're talking about God. I'm like, you just went 2 weeks. Yeah, but you speak like British.
Yes.
For me, I'm American. God! I'm just trying to say that this statement is so important in identity.
Please put that stop. Let's put that up there so that you guys can see it. It's really
I am because we are.
Yeah.
The cultural wholesomeness of sharing comes in you knowing who you are. Those children chasing the chicken just before you set off for Kampala, they bring it with all the, like Chicken George or Rambo. No, who's it? Sylvester Stallone as the boxer.
Yes.
Rocky chasing the chicken to get it for you so that Eddie gets it back to Kampala. That infinite sense
Yeah.
of sharing comes from actually love and acceptance of who you are. Huh? Me, that's the reasoning behind that statement.
Wow. Well, you had it. The story of I am because we are is quite a very important situation right there for us to be able to look into. Jaffa's just broken it up for us. Sometimes we don't understand the elders that you are now a university graduate, but your father sold goats, chicken, cows, rats, everything else to raise the money to take you to school. You are who you are today because of them. How much respect do we give to the elders? How much respect are you giving back to your father? That is the statement we have on the screen right there. Think about it. Think about the statement and say, before I abuse my father, my mother, that they don't wear good clothes or they don't dress well.
Or they don't understand.
They don't understand. They should know that they sold goats and cows.
They cared enough for you.
Yes, they dug so much so that their son and their daughter can have something.
Me, that's the true meaning of sacrifice.
Wow.
And a mother's selfless love is the #1 form of that. They give everything.
Jaffa, we want to hasten to the next one. The cultural wholesomeness of sharing.
I use my word. I know everybody thinks about it.
Yes.
African capitalism. I'm tired of listening to capital socialism because they use it as a dirty word in the West.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
What we got from the Magufulis at the tail end of Nyerere's revolution was African socialism. But if China can transcend that and become a command capitalist, ours should be African capitalism, where we can share while earning from it.
I wanted to, while you share that about the Africa, and then I want to bring this together. Most African countries today have closed their borders to their own fellow Africans. You need a visa to enter South Africa. But we're from moving from the eastern part of Africa to southern part of Africa, you need a visa. Just to enter Rwanda here, we will need Kenya here. We need
security vetting.
Security vetting.
Interpol.
Yes, and everything, and a visa to enter. And I'm saying, where do we draw the line of this Ubuntu spirit that you're talking about? Have our elders stopped speaking to us to tell us, look, young men and young women?
I feel that the leaders started clashing heads. It happened at a moment when, ironically, we had already given each and every person to get, how do you call it, kitambulisho. I don't know how Baganda call it, but the ID card.
Yes.
The ID card is so, not analog, it is so digital that you can just pass through every location in East Africa